Thank you so much for jumping on. I guess if we're doing some live streaming, throw some comments in. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're on the Zoom, let us know where you're watching from. We like to see how far this reaches. And then also the purpose of this is to get a good recording. This is the evolution of like belief. That's what the subject matter of this is. And the desired outcome is to help you get some tools on finding your belief, keeping your belief, and then helping the newcomer with their belief. In the community that we work with, it's not just us. If we're working alone, it tends to be much harder. And there are a lot of people on their own personal journeys. And for me and what I do with Prove It and in the recovery world, belief is super, super important. And I feel if you have real belief, you're absolutely untouchable. And especially if you find a couple people close to you who have the same belief and who are on the same path, I believe you're completely unstoppable. So, real quick, let me introduce myself. My name is Justin. I've been with Prove It for over 5 years. And this is where I started, this picture right here. And this guy really didn't have much belief. It took a long time for me personally to find belief. And then it's been an evolution the whole entire way. And we have two special guests. We have Aaron and Tabatha who are with us, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves real quick. But these two are absolute rock stars. Their belief has come so far, and it's so locked in now, and they're helping a lot of other people. And we decided to put this Zoom together so they can share some tips and tricks and what works for them. So, Tabatha, I want to introduce you first. You want to give us a quick rundown of who you are and maybe how long you've been with Prove It. And then Aaron, I'll kick it to you and have you introduce yourself as well.
Hey, y'all. For those that don't know me, my name is Tabatha. I've been drinking and sharing ketones for a little over 2.5 years. I found ketones through a friend of mine. I saw her results and what she was doing on Facebook. And, nosy me, I'm not just going to turn it away. And so I had to find out what it was about and, messaged her and got started. Originally, I started for, the fat loss. I needed to lose some weight and just was, in a place where I just didn't feel good physically. So I wanted to, it was one more thing that I was going to try that I had already done everything. What's one more thing? So messaged her, got started. What I did not see coming was everything else that comes with the product, the community, the self-development, the personal development, the growth that I was going to have as a person. You guys, like, if you know me, like, I'm as goofy as they come. I'm loud. I'm a little on the hood side, contrary to my Harvard customer service voice, little on the hood side. Like, I'm just as crazy as they come. I love to get down and, act crazy with everybody else. I was a true skeptic. Like, I wanted the weight loss. I wanted the fat loss. I did not expect everything else. So when everything else started coming at me, it was like, hold on, wait a minute. That's not what I signed up for. Like, that, you can keep all that. I just need to drop some weight. So, I didn't get connected to the community, didn't get all the stuff that I needed to go with it, and slowly found myself going back to what I was doing before that, to old ways and, the same excuses that I had before and the victim mentality and all of that. Came back in, went to Vegas, and everything kind of changed from there. And so it's definitely been a journey, and it's one that I'm super proud of. I'm not the same person I was 9 months ago. That is for sure. So, that's kind of where my journey started.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tabatha. I'm going to introduce Aaron next. Aaron, you're on quite the journey yourself. You've been in the game for a minute. I'll have you introduce yourself and catch these people up to speed.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Aaron Windhorn. Came across ketones, I don't know, I'd say 14 months ago, via social media. I started drinking because I wanted to, for the fat loss. I was 405 pounds. I was miserable. I hated life. I'm in the recovery world and had 10 years, clean and sober. But I was still finding myself miserable. And, ketones have like changed everything for me. Like Tabatha said, I was just in it for the fat loss. I didn't know all the other stuff would come. Originally, I knew nothing about the community. I just drank ketones and found some success there, and then eventually got introduced to the community, which, I know previous from being in recovery, the value of community is everything. We can't do this alone, whether it's stopping drinking, whether it's eating, whether it's sex, whatever, we need support to, make this sustainable. And, I just love it. And, what's come, from this is the friendships and, the personal growth that the company has instilled in me. I've never worked for a company where, they strive on making you better and changing your beliefs and your mindset. And it's been a game changer.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to kind of add to that. I'm crazy with my belief, and the way that I've gotten to this point is I've seen it work for so many people in so many different ways, that this platform is a vehicle to, obviously, you drink a drink and it puts you in ketosis on demand, which for me was easier than doing meal prep and all that, because I was a first responder. I sat in my car all day, and meal prepping and Tupperware and all that stuff, just it lasted for a hot minute. And then I had moldy Tupperware in my trunk, and it was a disaster. And so the drink itself, helped, and, the better mood and all the stuff that comes with it, because it's your body's, favorite fuel source, is cool. But this vehicle is a platform to, our company talks about becoming 1% better. So I don't care. I got friends who want to lose 10 or 15 pounds. I have friends who, are tired of snapping at their kids, but I also have friends who have credit card debt. I have friends who need, maybe a vehicle to get, a financial revenue stream to help them and their family and their lifestyle. And this is all of that. And we don't care where you land. I give this example. My mentor gives this example all the time of, McDonald's doesn't care if you come in and get French fries or you order 10 Big Macs. They just want you to come there and get something. And when it comes to Prove It, that's all we're looking for. Some people can look at this and then they have preconceived notions, but it's like, hey, if you sleep like garbage, we might be able to help you. Or if if this works for you, and you think that you might be able to share this with some other people that might need those benefits, there's other opportunities there. So a little tagline that I've used often is, it's personal development with a compensation plan, if you choose. Or you could just be a happy customer, earn some points, cover your own habit, and stay there. So Tabatha, I'm going to kick it back to you. If somebody, there's going to be a few different types of people watching this. Some people who haven't even tried the Kool-Aid, right? And then there's some people who have drank it and they're ready to take that next step, but they don't know where to start. Where would you recommend somebody who, is either jumping in and wants to drink it and see what else there is, or maybe they've been around for a while and they're ready to take that next step? What would you suggest to them?
My biggest suggestion for people that are just starting, or like you said, people that have been in for a minute and just don't know what to do next, my biggest suggestion would be find somebody that you can relate to, that you can lock arms with and run with. A lot of people don't realize Aaron and I literally speak every day. We bounce ideas back and forth off of each other every single day, and not just Prove It wise, but in our personal lives. Like, we've created, Aaron and I's friendship will probably, God forbid anything ever happen to Prove It, but Aaron and I, and me and you, Justin, me and Michelle, me and Noel, so many people on this call, like, our friendships that we have developed, that's beyond Prove It. This is like real deal life stuff. You know, there's been a lot of circumstances or different situations where people have had real life stuff happen. And me being the person that I am, like, I show up, period. Like, no questions asked. We need to bury a body. We need to do whatever we need to do. Like, I'm showing up. That's just what you do for the people that you care about. So for somebody that's just jumping in, grab somebody, find somebody that you have interest with or common interest with, or, somebody that can hold you accountable. Listen, y'all know Aaron one way. I know Aaron a different way. Aaron will rock my world if I'm on some crazy shit. So, he holds me accountable, and that's what I need. You know what I mean? So it doesn't come from a place of, oh, don't tell me what to do. It comes from, oh, you're right. Let me look at it a different way. So find somebody that you can run with, somebody that's close to you. We always say it's more fun with more people, and that's 100% true. You find somebody that you can tell your deep darks to and run with that person and let them build you, let them pour into you as you're doing it to them. That would be my biggest suggestion, is find somebody and lock arms and don't let go. So.
Absolutely. No, whether, like, I go back and I think about when I was in the military, at the time I was like, all we did was complain about the job and where we were and what we were doing. But there was this brotherhood, right? There was this community that now you look back and my military buddies, we make jokes like, man, I wish we could go back. And then even when, I was a law enforcement officer for over 13 years, the brotherhood was incredible. When I worked undercover.
This is the only place, Justin, like, being prior military myself, this is the only place ever in my whole life that I found anything even remotely close to that camaraderie, that connection, that I'll lay down and die for you if that's what we need to do type relationship. So yeah, I agree 100%.
And it kind of, it goes with the whole subject matter of this Zoom or live stream, is when you have people with the same belief. You hear it in like scripture, you hear it in business, like all you need is one, right? And we're blessed that this community is actually setting a standard in real life community building when it comes to even prove it. But you can carry that out. Like when I worked undercover, the streets, gangs and the mob and the cartel, like, they say there's loyalty and they say there's brotherhood. I'd get one knucklehead in the backseat of my police car. I could make him talk all day long. There was no damn loyalty there. And, I'm in a program of recovery that's pretty cool because I could go to any city in the world and look online and go to a place and go to a room of people who are on the same page. There's really no need to catch up because we all follow the same program. And when it comes to prove it, whether it's what time do I drink ketones or it's, hey, I'm trying to become 1% better, we get it. So I'm going to kick it to you, Aaron, real quick. Somebody who's ready to jump on the train and do it the right way and not be like a lot of us. My 5-year evolution was belief, not belief, skies falling. Like, where would you suggest somebody start so they can stick to it and maybe collapse the time frame on where we are at in our mindset?
Yeah, I would say do the opposite of what I did. Is I tried to do, prove it provides all the necessary training we need to have a successful business or have results, whatever you're looking to do. I would say don't do what I did, and I tried to force my way through it and tried to do it myself, trying to do it my own way just because I'm stubborn like that. But I would suggest, following the direction to people that know better than I do. And like, find a solid community and lock arms with them. And, exactly like Tabatha said, find 1-2 people that is your ride or die. And no, we're not burying no bodies for Facebook purposes, but
We don't bury
Yeah,
them.
good point. Good point.
so this is all just our personal experience, so we're not gurus or anything. It's just the path that we took to get to where we are.
Absolutely. And I'm going to add to that, when you get started, the path isn't lit until you start walking it, right? You can sit back, you can plan, you can think, and you can future trip on how this is going to work. But I just want to highlight what you guys have in the PNW that is finally taking root here in Colorado is that you geographically, within driving distance, have that support, right? That there are no teams. There aren't like, oh, they're doing this or they're doing that. There are walking groups, there are meet and greets, there are ketone mixers. There's all kinds of things, but all that really is, this isn't, your mom's makeup deal where you sit down and they're going to shove some sales down your throat. That's not what this is. Like, you're going to go karting and you're going to see a bunch of knuckleheads with the same shaker bottle that just happen to be drinking the same thing. So when I was up there, it was, whoever was in the game at the time. And I mentioned the program of recovery a lot, but some people come and some people go. And there are people who got me to where I am in my recovery journey that went out, that are on the streets and acting like idiots. I didn't change what I was doing, right? This guy, if that guy would have gave up, I wouldn't be here today. I'm 41 years old. I honestly feel like the best shape of my life, and I have some of the best friends I could ever ask for. And that's come with staying consistent, finding a group of people who want the same thing. It's not always great. It's not always perfect, but I just didn't give up. And having people like you guys who have put this together. Noel's another one who's just been consistent and consistent. And we just couldn't do it without each other. So uh, I got this PDF that I printed out that somebody sent me, but there's some stuff on here like, goal setting, positive affirmations, feedback and reflection. Feedback and reflection is important to me, especially when you want to talk about a solid community of people, whether it's a club, whether whatever, we police our own, right? We take care of each other. And if we don't have the space to be able to, see somebody getting a little sideways and say, hey, listen, your mindset might not be in the right spot, or that, my friend, is called the pity party. A lot of the quickest thing that people do is give up on themselves. And if you're in a strong community with belief, we don't let each other give up on each other. You know what I mean? We're there to support each other. So whether you want to talk about adaptability, just networking, self-reflection, Tabatha, is there any tips or tricks or anything that's working for you, or maybe something that you just recently started doing that you're finding that kind of helps you with that belief?
For me, I think when everything shifted for me, because any of you that have known me for a little bit know that my belief has not always been right here where it's at right now. I've struggled. You guys have seen James Rice eat me up on Zooms because of my self-doubt and stuff like that. What changed it for me and what literally started shifting the way that I think was when we heard Chris and Danny Webb, and it was Chris that said, the best thing you can do is show up for yourself. Keep the promises that you make to yourself. So regardless of how hard it was, regardless of whether I wanted to get up at 4 a.m. and run or not, y'all, the struggle. Like, I get up and I keep the promises that I make to myself, and I keep the promises that I make to my community. So if I tell you, yes, you're having a mixer, I'm going to be there, or yes, you're doing this event, I'm going to be there. I keep those promises, and that builds the confidence. Like, once you start keeping the promises to yourself and to the people around you, it will slowly start to build your confidence. And as you get more and more confident, Can't nobody tell me nothing, y'all. I'm just saying, nobody can tell me. Listen, there's a lot of doubt that goes on. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't have bad days, but I know at the end of the day, I showed up. I kept the promise to myself. I kept the promise that I to the people that I care about, and everything else will work itself out. You know what I mean? So that would be my biggest thing, is keep the promises you make to yourself, number one, and the promises that you make to the people that you care about.
I love it. I love it. And on that is my thing is start small, right? When I've been helping a lot of people get just started on their own. And I'm talking like, hey, you don't need to get like an ice bath or get weird, but maybe every time you take a shower, if you could just hit that thing to cold for a minute. Like even if it's like, ah, and then jump out. And then later on, you might be in there for a couple minutes. Like that's one crazy free 99 promise that releases a bunch of dopamine for hours that you can keep to yourself. And that one little thing gives you some, it just sets the tone for the rest of the day. And that's where we're starting. We're not saying you got to go do CrossFit and get weird right away. Aaron, you got this PDF, I think. So all of this stuff, continuous learning, time management, embrace those challenges, mindfulness, adaptability, tips or tricks to help somebody that might be watching this.
I mean, I would say give yourself, a chance. Don't give up when you fail. I mean, we all fail. And my biggest issue was being in the negativity. And, with that negativity, that takes your drive out of whatever you do. So, like, if, let's say, a customer doesn't want to buy something or whatever, they run me through the ringer and they decide they don't want to buy something. It's easy for us to get that mindset of, well, like, screw this business, blah, blah, blah. They changed the compensation plan. But I have to realize that, it's a long time end game and that nothing's going to happen right away. And I have to constantly do things, post positive messages to remind myself to keep myself in that right mindset, in the positive mindset, and motivate and inspire others, really, drives me to keep going. And, it's daily intentional actions to keep that momentum going. I said a lot there, but I think
No, you're good. We're coming up on 30 minutes, and I think we should probably keep it at that. Before I
Too,
close this
Justin.
up, yeah, I was going to kick it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Freestyle this, Tabatha.
No, yeah, something I just want to add to what Aaron said is, it's easy for us to get in a negative mindset. And when Aaron and I go there, the first thing either one of us will say to each other is, what you need to do. And what we're talking about is him and I both agree that we feel better when we're of service to someone else. So if we're in that space of, oh, F this, whatever, this sucks, blah, 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 whatever the case is, we both will say, well, you know what you need to do. And it is, find someone, something you can do where you are of service to someone else, and pull yourself out of that mentality, because that's the fastest and the easiest way is to know that you brought joy to somebody else's life, even if it's little bitty. You bring joy or put a smile on somebody else's face. There you go. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. Right on. Well, if you guys are watching this, I appreciate you. Throw some hearts if you're online, or if this is streaming. My thing I want to end this is with this. Okay. We have a drink that puts you in ketosis when you drink it. The health benefits are bananas. We can send you all kinds of information. If somebody sent you this video, reach back out to them. The way that our community works is we come together, we try to provide some content, and then we want you to support the person who has been talking to you about this. And if you're watching this, yes, better mood, better sleep, better fat loss, better focus. And the thing is what I'm finding is more people want to make $1,000 or $2,000 a month than they necessarily want to take care of themselves. but this is something you could do both, right? And if you've been in the Prove It game, and there's a lot of people coming back because Prove It is, I call it like a fanny pack. It goes with, I'm a dad, I've got 4 kids, I volunteer and I do all these things. Prove It, I used to be in Prove It. Okay. I used to be in the company, but now Prove It is in me. Huh? Like that. And it goes
Yeah.
with me everywhere I go. So, you know, if you're looking for something, most people, they call it side hustle, but most people got to go exchange time for money. That's cool. I did it for years. I was in the military, I was a first responder, I worked 12-hour shifts, 4 on, 4 off. That's cool. Most people, like even the people that are like, I'm not doing one of those things. It's like, cool. What opportunity are you working on that you can make, 1,000 or two, or bananas and pajamas money? And that's really comes on you. And like I said before, it's personal development with the compensation plan. Take it for what it is. Reach out to the person who invited you here. We appreciate you. And if you decide to jump in this, you got an army of support. So thank you, Noel. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Tabatha. Thank you, everybody who took the time to jump on here. And I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys have a great night.